Being told you may never walk again. That was the news Woonona man McKeogh was delivered after a devastating motorbike crash in 2010 which almost cost him his life. He turned the tragedy into triumph, jumping back on his ocean ski and winning a bronze medal at the National Ocean Ski Championships. As you're about to find out, for Michael, his new outlook on life is far more valuable than any medal.
This is something doctors thought Michael McKeogh would never do. Walk unaided. His story is one of resilience, determination and ultimately triumph. The ocean proving not only life-changing, but life-saving.
I think it's just good for the soul being on the water. It's a great feeling being on the water.
Mike's love of ski paddling goes back more than a decade, but it was his passion for motorbikes that spans a lifetime. He took up riding at the age of 8, so good he not only raced but became a showman, performing at some of the biggest shows in the country, while enduro races fed his competitive side. It was a fateful decision between the two in March 2010 that almost cost him his life.
The morning that I had the accident, I had a choice. I had a surf ski on the roof of my car that I had borrowed from one of the other paddlers, and I was going to try it out. Or I had the motorbike on the trailer ready to go, but I had my mates call me up on the Friday night saying, "Mike, you coming along?" So that morning I went and jumped on the motorcycle.
Mike crashed while on a training ride in bushland at Neryl, south of Nowra. He broke both femurs and his back in 6 places and suffered head injuries from the fall. After losing more than 6 litres of blood, paramedics told his friends they didn't think Mike would make it to hospital. He remembers little of the crash, but for his relatively new partner and now wife Neryl, the aftermath is still vivid.
That was a tough time, and I remember when they put Mike in the traction, that was that night in emergency. I have never heard screams like that, and thinking about it now just makes me feel sick. That was absolutely horrifying hearing that from anybody, but knowing that was him. Even then people were kind of giving me indications that, look, this isn't going to be good.
Doctors didn't believe Mike would survive. When he did, they said Mike was unlikely to ever regain full control of his legs. He spent 3 months in a wheelchair and 3 years on strong medication, but his determination defied doctors' odds.
He's incredibly tenacious, and even he was running his own business, very successful business at the time, even sitting up in hospital, on the laptop.
That determination landed him a host of awards for his business, even taking out the Illawarra Business of the Year in 2013.
And the winner is Fibre Optics Design and Construct.
Not long after, he picked up his ski, although there hasn't always been calm waters.
There were times when I was training that I would collapse. My body would freeze. One side of my body would just stop working. And they'd stop and they'd help me limp back in over the last 3 kilometres of a training session.
Along with the Wollongong Paddlers group, Mike trains 4 days a week, taking off from Wollongong Harbour just before sunrise. Just getting back in a ski was a remarkable achievement in itself, considering doctors thought he may not survive, let alone walk again. Then he set himself the goal of wearing the green and gold.
It's been quite amazing, and Mike will tell you he paddles with an amazing group of people, but I think even they don't even know the story and how far he's come.
So when he recently travelled to Hong Kong for the ICF Ocean Racing World Championships and found himself on the podium in his age group, it was an emotional moment, not just for him, but all those who helped him every paddle stroke of the journey.
To win a bronze medal was absolutely mind-blowing. It brings a tear to my eye to think that this was at all possible from a guy in a wheelchair just 7 years ago. When I stood on that podium, it wasn't just Michael winning this medal. It was Neryl and all of the support around me that won this medal.
Well, it is like the dog chasing the parked car, isn't it? What do you do when you catch it? And we've talked about that. What's the next goal? So, of course, there'll be other things on the horizon. This is pretty hard to top.
Melissa Russell, Win News.